What's going on, guys? Jeff back with another video. Super excited for snowboard season, so I need to keep pumping out these videos until we get our first snow. Hopefully in about a month now I'll be back on the mountain, but we'll see, fingers crossed. So I was thinking about this video in bed yesterday, and I thought it would be cool to go through all the different random features in a terrain park and rank how intimidating they are for somebody who's just getting into freestyle park riding like myself. And a little background, I just started riding the terrain park last season. All of my progression has been documented on this channel, so with only the past year of experience in mind, I'm going to look at all these features, many of which I haven't done yet, and put them on this tier list here, depending on how intimidating they are. First one we got is the dance floor box. I love the dance floor box. You really can't go wrong. If you keep a flat base, it doesn't matter if you're sideways, diagonal, going straight down it. It's super chill. I absolutely love the dance floor box. That's where I learned my board slides this year, was just getting on this thing and turning sideways. Super low consequence, really chill way to get into riding features. Alright, the next feature here is sort of like this tube, pill, pipe sort of thing. Super close to the ground, you kind of just hop on and ride over it. I've done similar things to this last season, and it wasn't super scary. It took me a while to get used to it because the metal is so much slipperier than the box. So when I'm on this part of it, it's a little slick, but yeah, I'm getting more used to it, and I think I'm going to hit more similar features. So I'm going to say these are pretty fun. I like these. Up next, we have a down box. I mean, these are pretty chill. If it has a ride on, I like it, but if you're trying to get me to do a urban on, or aka like jumping onto it from the side, I'm not a big fan of that. But I think these are pretty fun. So I'm going to say this is fun. Alright, up next we have, I'm going to call this a snake rail. I don't exactly know what this is called. All I know is it's terrifying. I feel like when you're riding on this thing, you can kind of fake it till right here, but then there has to be a point where you switch edges and your balance and your momentum, and that just seems like it's a recipe for slipping off and falling off this way. Or maybe even if you lean too far back coming on this part, you might slip off and fall backwards, and then you're gonna have momentum, and then you're gonna run into this. It scares my brain when I look at it. Big fight or flight. Not a big fan. I'm going to say that I am filling the diaper on this guy. I think it's possible. I think it could be done with some practice, but not anytime soon. Up next, we got the half pipe. I thought I loved the half pipe. I've rode a half pipe once before, and I kind of had fun. Granted, I didn't go very far up the half pipe. I probably, on the transition, went up to like right here, and then I would do like a little 180 and come back down. That's the wrong direction, but you get the point. Kind of like this, then you come up, do even an alley-oop a little bit, and then you come back, and it was really fun. I went to Copper Mountain in February of this year, 2025, and I came in on the half pipe, and I went down, and I went up, went a little too high, couldn't get my momentum to turn back around, fell right on my back, right back into the middle of the half pipe. It hurt really bad. Maybe I just need to figure it out, but I didn't have fun there. I'm going to say, oh boy, because I've done it in the past and it was fun, but my most recent experience was not so good, so it makes me a little nervous. Next feature here, a little bit of a ride-on corrugated tube. I'm gonna say this is a pretty fun feature. I was terrified of these earlier this year because when I got on one, I let my knees lock, and when I landed on it with locked knees, my board turned sideways, and I went into a front side board slide, kind of like almost caught a back edge or like slipped out on my heels and fell right on my back, knocked my GoPro off. If you saw my progression videos, like the second video I've made on this channel, it shows that whole experience. So I didn't like that at all, but now I gotta say I do like these, and I do think it's fun to go on a ride on tube. So I'm gonna say this is fun. I'd like to get to an I love it, but maybe later this season I'll get there when I get more comfortable with them. Up next, we got just a nice flat box. I'm a big fan of the flat box, dude. If you put me in a terrain park with only flat boxes, I'd be lapping that thing from sun up to sundown. These are so much fun, and I'm learning my board slides, learning my 180s on and off, and you just get a nice box. You're not on it for too long, and you can just have fun and learn. Man, that's my favorite feature at the terrain park, so by far, this is going in the love it tier. Huge fan of these guys. Here we have like a little embedded into the ground jib rail tube thing. I can't say I'm a huge fan of these. I don't like how thin they are because I try to get on them and then my board always inevitably slips off the side and then I almost like fall on my stomach or on my back onto them. I don't like it. It reminds me of the feeling when you're taking a nap and all of a sudden you go and your whole body shocks and you're terrified and you don't know what just happened. That's what it feels like whenever I get on one of these, because I always slide off the edge of them. And because of that, I'm giving it the oh boy, because I could probably get on there for a second, but man, it's not pleasurable at all to ride one of those for me. Up next, we got, oh man, I love these things. Just a short, simple rainbow box. These are super fun. You can almost air over them. You can kind of get a little bit of a shifty board slide and then come down. I don't know. I've had a lot of fun on these when I've ridden them in the past, and I think they're really cool. I would say I love it. I'll ride one of those all day. All right, so here we got the small jump. Just a nice small park jump. These are an absolute treat. I love doing these. Some simple 180s, super low consequence. Just hop on, get a feel to get some air, land, and you're chilling. You fall over, you just laugh. You're not going to get injured. You're going to be just fine. And it's super fun to kind of work on your spins really close to the ground, work on shifties, work on 180s, switch takeoffs, all kinds of stuff. All right, this guy is the down flat down rail. This is very scary. I don't like any metal that's super thin. I'm still trying to figure out the boxes and the tubes. I don't want to fall off and taco on my stomach, and I don't want to slip off backwards and hang my arms up on the back of it. It just sounds scary either way. I don't know if I'll ever do these. I can only dream that one day I'm comfortable enough to hit rails like this. I'm going to say I'm filling the diaper on the down flat down rail. That sounds scary. Next, we have this weird tube coming out of the ground thing. I'm going to call it a handle tube because it kind of looks like a handle. I mean, it just stinks because you kind of have to get some air to get up there. So if you undershoot it, you're just going to fly straight into the tube, and then your body's going to fold right here, right in the tube. If you get too much air, you're just going to fly over it, and then I don't even know what's down here, but it looks like a giant cliff. So I want nothing to do with that. I'd say if it was in a more chill spot, not next to a cliff, then I might give it a try. I mean, I'm going to say get me out, because if I'm in a park and this is the future, get me out. This next guy we're looking at is the long skinny boy rainbow box. I do not like these, and the first reason is at the beginning of the day, you'll have a beautiful ride on where you can just come up on the ramp and you're super fine and you're chilling, and you're not worried about catching your front edge. But as the day goes on, this takeoff will turn into almost like a downslope, and it'll get really run over. So then you have to ollie up onto it. And if you were a beginner like me at one time and you didn't realize that, then the front of your board, it goes under this, and you catapult yourself down onto your shoulder and lose all your momentum instantly and slam into the future. These are terrifying. Anything that has to do with potentially catching my nose under it, I'm not jiving with it. Let's say it's put together well and it has a nice ride on. I don't mind it, but still, you're usually coming at it with a lot of momentum. So if you kind of have a bit of an angle when you're riding up it, you almost fly off the side and jump it. I'm going to say it's possible, but I'm not feeling this at all. This is a scary fella. Up here, we got the medium jump. I like the medium jump. I'm somebody who's naturally felt comfortable in the air. Not to say I've done massive jumps, but I don't mind a couple seconds of air time. I'm going to say this is fun. Medium's a little scary, but it's doable and I enjoy it. Here we got a double barrel rail. I think these are cool because it's almost similar to a box in width. So you're not just dealing with a super thin piece of metal you're trying to balance on. You actually have a bit of a platform. And I think you can, do 50-50s on them, maybe do some board slides. I would say this is the extent of my comfortability when it comes to rails at the terrain park. Because of that, I'm going to give it a hesitant oh boy. It's close to this is fun. I just don't have enough experience on them to enjoy them yet. Up next, we got firecracker rail. This is terrifying. I don't know who came up with these. I'm guessing people who used to ride downstairs in urban settings decided, let's make a rail just like that. But instead of being as wide as a staircase, we'll just make it as thin as a rail. I do not think it's possible that I'll ever do this. Terrifying, coffin, skull emoji, tombstone emoji. I'll never do that, and if I do it, call the coroner because I'm toast. Up next, we got rail with stairs next to it. It's like you could just ride a rail, but how about we make it so if I fall over the rail, I land on metal stairs. Yeah, this is a no-brainer, coffin, skull. I would die if I hit this, and I have no desire to ever do it. Up next, the hip jump. I'll tell you what, I'm a big fan of the hip jump. I didn't understand how they worked before. I would always try to hit it here, and then I would just fly and then I would land super deep in the pocket, and it never made sense. I didn't realize that you actually had to target this point of the hip, and when you do target it, you have a super mellow transition back down it. So that's when I started to enjoy it, when I realized that you target this vertex here. I also made a mistake once of just taking straight off this like it was a jump, and you literally go so high and then you just pancake flat on your base and case it as hard as you can. I think my knees are still rattling from when I did that. Really fun feature. If I have my personal terrain park, I would definitely want it there. I'm saying this is fun. Next feature is the Urban On Pill. I like the Ride On Pills just because I can get on them, but when I'm trying to Urban On, I'm still figuring it out with these things. Oftentimes I'll find myself landing too far on one side or too far on the other side, like a little bit over here. And I know you have to land on your heels, and then you have to kind of lean your momentum forward to lock in, so you're kind of almost rolling your feet onto it to lock in. I still haven't figured out that muscle memory yet, so oftentimes I'm slipping off. So I'm just going to give it a oh boy, because if I see that feature, I'm a little hesitant, but it's not the end of the world. Up next, we got the picnic table. I've only hit one picnic table in my life, and it was kind of on accident. I was riding with a few of my cousins, and we were going through a terrain park, and there was a huge drop, and before the drop, there was a picnic table. And I'm following them, and all of a sudden I notice that they're going up and they're landing on something. And I'm like, what is this? But I just follow along because I don't want to be the odd man out. And before I know it, I'm up and I'm on a picnic table. And then I drop like 8 or 10 feet off onto a downslope. And I made it. And I did not want to go back through that terrain park again. Picnic table, kind of a cool feature. It's almost like a glorified box, except that if you fall off the side, you might get tangled up in this. And that's a no-go. Maybe an oh boy. It almost sounds fun, but they're not common enough in my area for me to be used to them or to really have a super solid opinion. Up next, we have this weird sort of ball thing. They kind of protrude from the ground and you jump, and I see people tail tap, or I think it's called a nada spin, or maybe that's just skateboarding where you land on it flat based and you kind of do like a couple rotations. I haven't really messed with these too much. There's another variation of this that I had fun with last year. Instead of this ball, it was almost just like a diglet shaped thing, and you would just come up and similarly tap your tail on it, and you were having a good time, and you could just kind of go down the downslope after, and you were laughing. So that was a fun feature. I enjoyed that a lot. So I'm gonna say this is fun. I like these a lot. Haven't really done the ball variation, but I like the little diglet one. Up next here, we got this sort of thin handle rail. It's like a rainbow, I guess. I don't like this that much at all. I'm trying to get the takeoff right, and I know you have to have a lot of speed to carry your momentum through these things. I don't really see myself doing these things, but really it's not that scary. I think you just have to be more advanced, but it doesn't terrify me a lot. So I'm going to say get me out. Here we got the basic Urban On rail. So I hope I can do these one day. I think it would be fun to be able to board slide them, to be able to 50-50 them. I just got to get used to that lock-in feeling and getting the right angle to jump on a rail. I always get scared that I'm going to angle it wrong and that my board's going to run into the side of this because I don't get on top of it, or I might jump over it, which I guess it's not really a bad thing. You just airing over the rail. So I'm not able to do it yet, but I do have a desire to learn how to do it. So not feeling that. Up next is the pole jam. Now these are kind of weird to me. If I'm going to get air, I prefer just to hit a jump because I have traction and I can use my edges. If I'm on a pole jam, I feel like I'm trying way too hard to stay balanced on the pole instead of focusing on the jump, and then before you know it, you're flying off. I don't like that at all. If I'm going to get air, I'm just going to hit a jump. And when I've tried similar features to this in the past, I always slip off one way or the other. I can't even get to enjoy the pole jam, so I'm not a fan of this. It scares me. I'm thinking too much about the pole and not about the jam, so I'm going to say I'm not feeling this. Up next, we got the Ride On Flat Bar Rail. This thing has been the best introduction to rails that I've ever had. My local park usually has 1 or 2 of these guys hanging out. We actually have a version that's just like this, but it's double. Let me see if I can show you what it's like. It kind of looks, wow, it looks exactly like this. It's like 2 of them side by side, so you have a really nice stout area you can ride on, so it's not so thin, and you still get the experience of riding on metal. So super cool. I love these things. Giving it a ranking, I would say this is fun. I'm a big fan of it. Second to last, we have the huge jumps. I've never hit something like this, and I don't know if I will. It's a new beast. You really got to have some air awareness, so my body does not have a sense at all of how to handle these. Right away, I'm telling you, it's filling the diaper. Could even be a mixture between filling the diaper and dying, because that is quite a gnarly feature. And lastly here, we got this triangle wall ride sort of thing. I don't know what they're called. We had one at our park last year, and really all I would do on it, I would just kind of come up here and then just hang half of my board on it while the other half's down here. And then I'd almost do like a rock to fakie, like on a snowboard, rotating back in and coming back. Or sometimes just like beach myself up on it like a whale and then come back in. So I kind of did my own thing on it. I see people get on there balancing, jumping up there, doing 180s, then coming back in. I don't know about all that. I'm not ready for that. But it's a cool feature, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of an oh boy. So guys, here's my list. I don't have every feature on here. There's probably some obvious ones I'm missing. I had the inspiration to do this video last night, so I'm happy I did it. It was really fun. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave a comment, subscribe, like, and check out my terrain park progression videos if you kind of want to see where I'm at and maybe why I ranked some of these the way I did. But thanks, guys. God bless. I'll see you in the next video.